today's tutorial, I'm going to teach you how to do crow pose.
Okay, so before we actually start practicing the pose, I want you to do two kind of preparatory exercises, okay? At least. I highly also suggest that you do a couple sun salutations or something to really warm up your body before you do this. But in addition to that, I want to run through a couple of preparatory exercises. So the first one, you're going to be laying on your back, like so, and you're going to tuck your knees up into your chest, and we're going to create crow pose on our back. So my heels are by my seat, my knees are up to my chest, I'm arching my back, pulling my shoulders up towards my knees, and then I'm going to put my triceps on the back of my triceps on my knees, and my hands straight up toward the ceiling. Okay, so this is crow pose on our back. Really make note of the arch here, tucking your chest up to your knees, and also the height of your knees on your triceps. So the higher you can get your knees on your triceps, the easier that crow pose is going to be for you. So really practice that. If that's a challenge for you, maybe try to do some hip openers before practicing crow pose, like pigeon or mermaid pose. Any of those would be really great. Okay, the next preparatory exercise, you're going to be on your tippy toes, on your mat. Heels are by your seat, knees are next to each other. Here, you're going to tuck forward, and we're going to create the crow pose from here. So it's kind of a squatting crow. Again, you want your knees to be up high on your triceps. So really, if you can get them into your armpits, right by your armpits, that's great. And then I just want you to fold forward. So this is kind of like a child pose variation. Just kind of practice this for a little bit. Really stretching out your hips. Okay, so when you're learning to ride a bike, you start out with training wheels. So the version of training wheels that we use in yoga is blocks and straps. I don't know where my block is right now, but I'm sure a lot of you guys don't have one either. You can use, whatever. I just have this book here that I'm going to use today. And this is just something that's going to get you a little bit of height so that's a little bit less scary coming up off of the ground. So you're on your block. Fingers are really wide. Place them on the ground. Knees up high on your triceps, as high as you can get them. If you can only get them to your mid-arm, that's okay. You might need to create a little bit more of an angle then, if that makes any sense at all, widening your knees. The higher up on your arms, you can keep your knees in tighter to your body. So my hands are spread wide. My fingers are spread wide. My hands are flat on the ground. I'm just going to shift forward. My gaze is out in front of me. Not at my hands, and I'm going to pick one toe up, the other toe, maybe try both toes. So this is just kind of a toe motion here. I'm not really asking you to try to hop up into it. You're just moving your toes up, 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 okay? Very slight movement. If you're comfortable with that, you can go ahead and keep moving forward and try the full pose. Okay, again, fingers really wide, hand shoulder width apart, place them on the ground. Get your knees up high as you can. If you can only get them to mid tricep, you might need to widen them a little bit and shift forward. Okay, again, one foot, the other foot, try both feet. It's gonna help a whole lot if you keep your gaze out about a foot in front of you. And the higher you can get your arms up in your triceps, the easier it's going to be as well. So as you're practicing this, I want you to think about rounding your spine, really exaggerating that motion. Rounding your spine, looking out in front of you, and lifting your knees up in your triceps. And also, you can think about lifting your seat up and your heels to your seat. Because the more vertical you can get as opposed to horizontal, the easier it's going to be for you to balance and to get your seat up off the ground. So think about lifting your seat up, lifting your heels up, and then maybe you can get to the point where you can straighten out your arms. Okay, so that's it. Now it's your job to practice. You may not get it on your first try. You may not get it within the first month. It may take you a while, but just enjoy the practice. And you know, you probably will fall. I have fallen so many times in my yoga practice, and that is okay. Especially with stuff like crow pose, you're not very high off the ground, you're not falling very far, you're not really gonna hurt yourself. So don't be afraid. Use the block to your advantage, and maybe even use a spotter. If you have your spouse at home or a roommate or whatever, they can help spot you just to make sure, just help you with your alignment, help you to get your seat higher, help you to lift your feet up to your seat, and help you maybe not to fall on your face. But yeah, if you get it, when you get it, let me know. I would love to cheer you on, and I will talk to you guys later. See ya.